talking about Deadwood season 1.
Yep.
And about how you've watched it over a long period of time. It might be hard to discuss it all. So I thought everyone who's going to watch this will probably have seen Deadwood season 1.
Yeah.
Yes, if you haven't, basically it's way too complex to describe in this video without making the first like 15 minutes all just catch up.
Recap, yeah.
Because there's so many plot lines, so many threads, so many characters. Basically, a sheriff comes into camp that's lawless, and then he beats a man up again and again, and a mobster kills another man and gets a warrant lifted off him. And that's like a very basic description of the plot threads that run across. Yeah. And there's a gold claim, and a woman gets it in the end. But
which
yeah,
of course
so
is shocking for
19th
century.
Yeah. Yes, but even that's too dense.
Yeah. So what we're saying is that with this season 1 look back,
it won't just be recapping it. We're mainly going to thematics and stuff like that.
We're assuming that you've watched it all.
Yes.
And if anything, you've watched the episode and then watched our review.
Exactly.
So you've gone along with us on the journey.
So I thought I would ask you a few questions I actually brought up in the first episode with you.
Oh, okay.
To see whether you... so I'll ask a few questions and you can either answer with, like, you can say what you want, but it'll probably be yes, no, or too soon to answer because you've only seen the first season. Deadwood is the best show ever. Ever made. I think it's the best show ever made.
Too soon to say for me.
Yes.
Because The Sopranos.
Yeah.
But if it keeps it at a similar... Well, the thing with Sopranos is that I absolutely love it. It is one of the best TV shows of all time. But at times it can not be as fun to watch as Deadwood.
Yeah.
I've had so much fun watching this first season of Deadwood.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you see the advertisements and you see the way it's kind of presented. It doesn't look like it's going to be a funny show.
No.
I've been shocked at how funny it is.
Yes.
And how much fun, like, how warm it is.
Yeah.
Like, I thought you were crazy when you first just said that. I was like, oh.
Well, I said that in the first episode. Yeah. So, yeah.
I was kind of like, oh, okay, right, okay. But no, you're right, you're absolutely right. And as it goes along, as you get to the characters more, the warmth of the show comes out.
Yes.
And I think that makes it more entertaining to watch from The Sopranos. So I'm going to say it's too soon to say, but if it keeps up a pace that it's going, yes, quite possibly it is the best show ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you say other than The Sopranos, there's very little competition?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of the way the characters, and I've not seen The Wire.
Yeah.
So in terms of the way the characters are presented and the way it's all put together, there's no equal really.
No. The dialogue is the best dialogue ever.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, yeah. I've been quoting so many of these lines, like when I'm around people or when I'm at work.
Yeah.
Or even me and you talking now, like when we text now, it's always like fucking cocksucker.
Yeah.
Booplehead. Yeah. So it's permeated the way I talk. So it must have done something right.
Yes.
So yeah, the dialogue is amazing.
The dialogue it manages to be both verbose, quotable, it's verbose and quotable, which is difficult because obviously you can't really. It shouldn't be quotable because it's so dense and hard to explain. Like the dialogue, some of it goes over like my head, and I've seen it 4 times, and I've looked up words from it, like reconnoitering. I didn't know what that meant, and looked that up. And it shouldn't be quotable because of that. It should just be something like you're just like, what the hell is that? But I think the actors mainly are the ones who sell it.
Yeah.
If this show was miscast, it would have just been awful.
And if it was on another network.
And if it were another network, where
like
they couldn't
ABC.
say fuck. Yeah. Yes. Do you think the swearing enhances the show?
Yeah.
Infinitely.
Yes. The swearing just makes it just, like let's say in comedy, it's a cheap trick that comedians use where we just swear a lot.
Yeah.
That's funny. It's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
But like something like Deadwood, where it's just part of that world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's obviously because it's blasphemy.
Yeah.
You know, it's a word that God has forbidden. And the fact these characters are just like, fuck, cocksucker, whatever. It shows that like complete disregard for societal rules.
Yeah.
And so no, I think the swearing only enhances it and makes you draw into that world more.
Yes, I definitely agree. This show would not be as good without the swearing. So it's a pretty unique show. Because do you think this show would be made now? Do you think this season of television would air in 2014, 15 even?
15. That's interesting.
I'm gonna say no, but I'll let you say it first before I explain why.
Well, TV is not my strong suit,
Yeah.
so I can only comment on what I've seen and what I know.
Yeah.
So I'm going to agree and say no.
Yeah.
Because I think in the early 2000s with television, it was almost like Deadwood itself. It was uncharted territories.
Yeah.
With what HBO could get away with, and they could get away with making these really arty, verbose shows like Sopranos, Deadwood, and The Wire.
Yeah.
Now, since it's moved to more commercial game, I don't think they could.
No.
Even still like Mad Men.
Yeah.
Mad Men is really overtly arty.
Yeah.
And I don't quite know how they got away with making it.
Yes. Almost to its discredit.
Almost to its discredit, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, as much as I really like Mad Men, Mad Men's a great show, I think it's a little bit too much.
I think it's under-dramatic.
Yeah, that's the problem, yeah.
Yeah.
The themes and the ideas are great,
Yeah.
but I agree, the dramatic weight's a bit, the receptionist just slept with one of the guys who works in the office.
Yes.
Oh, it's like, don't get me started about that whole thing in the first season where Peggy sleeps with what's-her-face and she gets pregnant and then it's swept aside and forgotten about.
Oh yeah.
Don't even get me started. But whatever.
Yes.
Oh, because she's fat.
Yeah.
Are you that fucking stupid?
It was stupid.
Yeah. But that's for another time.
Yes.
So even so like Mad Men, I don't quite know how they got away with it, but again, that's flash in the pan. I think that just got made because of the connection to The Sopranos.
Yeah, Matthew Viner was a writer on it, so yeah.
I don't think this kind of show would slide today. I don't think it would be made.
No. Okay.
To the point where even you got a question about this whole golden age of television.
Well, I think that the golden age was a bit short because what basically happened was The Sopranos happened, and then HBO just tried to fill that money. They basically got so much money from The Sopranos, they just invested it in The Wire and Deadwood and ran them at a loss. But the issue was when The Sopranos ended, none of those shows were hits.
Yeah.
Deadwood was the closest one, but it was so expensive to produce and they didn't get foreign DVD rights, they couldn't even keep that going. Yeah. And that was the second biggest show on the network.
Yeah.
This show was huge, relatively big, and it still couldn't keep going. So it's an unsustainable business model. That's why after The Sopranos ended, which was their biggest show, bringing them so much money, that's sort of when that kind of era ends. And now we're in sort of post where it's all like Breaking Bad. You didn't mention Breaking Bad in whether this was the best show ever.
Oh yeah.
It's miles ahead of Breaking Bad, isn't it?
Breaking Bad. As much as I really like Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
But it's not in the same league as Deadwood.
It just runs rings around it, doesn't it?
That's it. Yeah. If you want to do a kind of Breaking Bad's problem is that it sells itself as being it can't decide whether it's a single character study or an ensemble piece.
Yeah.
It kind of flips between the both of them, while Deadwood completely understands that it's an ensemble piece.
Yeah.
And knows exactly how to use the characters where and when.
Yep.
I don't think a show like Deadwood would be made today, and certainly not season one is.
No.
And I don't know what the last two seasons are like, but certainly not like season one.
No.
Because it's so dense, it's so rich with characters, and because nothing much happens. That's the thing, nothing much happens in each episode.
No.
That's kind of what I like about it. The characters are kind of living their lives, and
that becomes even more over in the next seasons.
Oh yeah.
Because I think Deadwood and all it is good to do it on a season by season basis, but the best thing about it is the accumulation of detail.
Yeah.
And the way that in season 3 it is nothing like season 1.
Yeah, that's great.
Even the set looks nothing like season 1. I don't think any show ever has been the only real set that's the same in season 1 and 3 is the gem, the Bella Union and the hardware store.
Oh, yeah.
But other than that, all the characters have homes. Spoiler for season 3, they're not still living in the stores. The characters have homes, it's so much bigger and everything. It's that kind of detail and amazing thing.
Well, that's it, one of the best things about season 1 is the way that the town is built up.
Yeah.
It starts out as, a couple of crappy mud huts and tents and...
Yeah.
And then, by the end of season 1, it's expanded into almost a full-fledged, kind of town and a community, and the amount of time it must have taken to pump into it. And even in the last episode, they were still introducing new stuff. I can't even imagine how much it would have cost them to put together all of them period military costumes, like all the kind of, 19th century, I don't know, 19th century period costumes, like, I can't imagine what money was spent on doing that, just for that one, like, episode, basically, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one episode, yeah.
Well, even, it doesn't matter anyway, because they would have had to break after season 1, so they couldn't exactly have reused it all straight away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, basically that one episode.
That one episode, they put that much effort into just doing what is basically, not as important as some of the other stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one scene. It's just so they can have that scene where all the characters congregate around the
general.
The general,
Yeah.
and he gives his speech.
Yeah.
That's another one I brought up in the first season. Al Swearingen is the best character ever, and Ian McShane gives the best performance in a TV show ever.
Well, yeah. Al's an amazing character.
Yeah.
He is so fully faceted. He's awful. He's evil. He's conniving. Yeah, he's got a real heart to him.
Yeah.
Which I can't think of any other character like him. The only one I can think of who can match him in terms of his acting chops is James Gandolfini and Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
And the fact that James Gandolfini won so many times, it 100% deserved. But at the same time, I think poor Ian McShane.
Yeah.
Because he put so much effort into. I'm still shocked that he was a last-minute replacement.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine what's his face.
Oh, anyone who doesn't know, apparently Powers Booth, who plays Cy Tolliver, was going to play Al, but he had to drop out at the last minute due to being too ill, and that's why David Milch cast him as Cy, so he had a role that was less physical.
Yeah.
He comes in episode 3, and he's basically, if you notice, every single scene he's either stood in one place or he's sat down.
Yeah.
Just
or he's leading on something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just can't believe that he was a last minute replacement because he owns that character.
Well, they had to even change the character because he was American in real life, and he would have been American, but they just changed it to make him a British person.
Yeah.
Which is only referenced really in the first episode.
That's it, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of forget about that.
Well, yeah, because he doesn't really have much of a British accent.
No.
But yeah, they had to change it just for this absolutely stunning sort of performance. And even like, as well as the town, the way that the characters have changed so much, like in the first episode, in fact when the reviews were going, you said in the second episode, like, you liked how evil Al was and how he was willing to kill this child, and you were talking about just how like awful he is in every way. And like now he's sort of the hero.
I've changed my mind completely about him, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I have a huge respect for writers and media that can make me completely change my mind about a character.
Yeah.
Because that's damn good writing. To make me, like, okay, as an example.
Yeah.
And there's nowhere near on the same level as Deadwood.
Yeah.
But Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yep.
For PlayStation 3. Not a great game, but it's got a fantastic story.
Yeah.
The story characters are great. There's a character in it who's a whiny little bitch. I absolutely hate him at the start of the game. But as it goes along, as the story progresses and you get to know him a bit more, you learn his backstories and as he develops as a character, I grew to love him.
Yeah.
That is damn good writing. And to take a character like Al, who at the start is so despicable and awful, and make him into, like you say, the hero.
Yeah.
He cares about, the people that don't belong in society, the kind of weirdos and misfits, the weirdos that hang out at his bar and who's muscle men, or what's she called?
Jewel, who would probably be dead in any other situation.
Oh yeah, she had died a long time ago, but Al gives her a job.
Yeah.
He takes the piss out of her and abuses her, but she's got a job and she seems relatively happy.
Yeah, he gives her a place to live. She lives at the gem.
Yeah.
I mean, you also, I think, get the feeling that that's his sort of, like, in the blowjob monologue is sort of the key to his character, like the fact he was abandoned as a child by his mother in a school that was also a whorehouse.
Oh yeah.
Which is a completely ridiculous scenario, but he sells it so well.
Yeah.
I think that the idea is that he sort of abuses people because he sort of is abused himself, and that's his only real way to connect to people. And that's just amazing writing, isn't it? A character who in the second episode was willing to kill a child just for monetary gain is now the hero of like the story.
Of the story, yeah. But even like his muscle men.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dan Doherty.
Yeah, the guy who's a bit chubby, has got the long hair.
Yeah.
But like he's great.
Yeah.
Like, again, he starts out as you think like a mindless muscle, but the guy's got a real soul and heart to him, And at the end of the day, they're just people trying to get by in this cruel, violent world.
Yeah.
And there's something to kind of respect about that. So I completely agree that Al is one of the best characters of all time, and Ian McShane he's phenomenal. He's absolutely phenomenal in the role. I adore him. Just the fact that I'm quoting lines about an everyday conversation is a testament to that. It's got into my brain.
Yeah.
And when an actor manages to do that, then I think we've done the job.
Quotes. What favourite quotes?
Just for the amount of times I've been quoting it, stick to hand jobs for a day or two.
That's amazing.
That's Al's idea of being nice and generous after this Hawes had this traumatic episode. He's like, stick to hand jobs for a day or two. Yes. And that nicely sums up his character really well.
Yes, it's not kind, it's tough and it's cruel, but it's still a great piece of advice.
Yeah, because he understands she's been through a lot, but he still needs to get money from her.
Yeah.
So stick to hand jobs for a day or two.
Yes. There's a really good one in episode 1 that I make mention of then, and it's by the character of Ellsworth.
Oh, yeah.
Who's not really been in it much. He's the miner. He's only really in the first ones. But there's one. It's not like just a line, but it sums up his like a lot of the show's philosophy nicely. It's I may have fucked up my life, flattered and hammered shit, but I sit before you beholden to no mortal cocksucker. What an amazing speech that is.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes. Favourite character even? Would that be Al or EB?
Al. I love EB. EB is like one of the stars of the first half, but he kind of goes in the background a little bit in the second half.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Barring Al.
Yeah.
Because Al, let's face it, is my favourite character. Probably EB.
Yeah.
I love EB.
EB is great,
He's pathetic and weird and strange, and he's kind of he's sympathetic at the same time.
Yeah.
Because he's clearly in this awful. It's almost like an abusive relationship.
But isn't it? Like he says that he can't even shit with any regularity.
Yeah.
In the standout monologue in The Trial of Jack McCall.
Yeah. He just keeps coming back for more and just gets beaten worse every time.
Yeah.
And who would have thought that guy from Blade Runner?
Well, I've never seen him in anything else.
No, same, no, never. Who would have thought he'd give one of his standout performances?
Exactly. Brad Dourif is really good, but doesn't really get enough to do as the Doc is really good.
The Doc's a great character, yeah. Like I said, I just wish he had a bit more to do. Yeah, he had some great moments in the last episode.
Yeah.
Where he's praying to God and he's like, what kind of cruel God or would do this? Why do you get him from this?
Yeah.
Just kill him now. Would you just scream louder? He's great.
Yeah.